the PayPal form itself. So this is an important part of this. If we look at all the data that we have here, this is what is being shown. We'll loop through that in a second, but the form data that's going to come in needs to be that section. So, like for example, here's the name of the card, here's PayPal, etc. But what we need to do is get that form action back to where it was and add the business section to it as well. So what I'm going to do is take my form action right here, the same values, and I'm just going to copy and paste it up above in our form action above. So let's do the form, and so right now this is the action itself. And what I'm going to do after that is focus on getting this form outside of all our data. For example, we have this form right here, redeemed for a promo code. I can comment this out. I'm going to leave it because I do like the idea of having promo codes, but I am going to actually take it out so that we can get these values sent to our section. So right now I have this in the row, and I'm going to have to start my form action up there so that all these values, which we'll have hidden fields inside here. So I'm going to put my hidden fields outside the form. So as I scroll to the bottom here, let's get those hidden fields. Let's get the hidden field for this. First, of course, is the business one. So I'm going to have actually I can copy it all the way down from the subtotal, like this. I can take all of these and move them up above the form fields, but below the form action itself, right in there. So we're in form mode here. Nothing's visible, so we don't really care what happens with the data as far as the checkout's concerned. So my form technically is above this level, even though these things are floated right now. They're in a grid, but a reverse grid actually. They're not really floated at all. But now that we have this is where we can run our loop. So see the item name, item number. These are all things, and I don't even need the subtotal because we already have that basically. But these are the things that loop. Okay, so I can put this inside here, and with each element, right, we have product name, product description. Everything on here is that section. Okay, so I can, I'm going to come out as much as I can so that you guys, if you want to do this, you can run with it. But all of this stuff, it's all flex items, justify content between left-hand condensed, meaning it's going to shrink when the screen is reduced. But this is where the repetition happens. It's under this list item. So this PHP, and we're going to do underscore PHP, but this is where the magic happens. Excuse me, that's my bad. Question mark, close. So this is where we will populate what is seen and what is not seen. Okay, so it's going to be a beautiful thing. We've got the list item the way we want it. So now all I have to do is kind of work with my values here. Okay, and I have these values right here and we just did one little thing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into a loop. Okay, and it's going to be get cart row equals get cart fetch, and then inside this loop we're gonna, and we can do it right inside our groovy little section here. So this is where we can start. Okay, and granted, I'm omitting a couple things. I understand that, from like the cart value, the total amount. This part right here, which says your cart in 3. We'll get to that. But for base level, I need to make sure that this is inside here. Okay, so you have like brief description. Well, I never grabbed the description, did I? So I can start by doing that. So let's get, I think it's products description. Products dot description and products price. So all these values, excuse me, I'm sorry, FileZilla is acting up just a little bit. But I have DESC equals get cart row description. And inside here, we can start with our PHP. We can do, heck, we can close this out and work with the while loop like so, and just go with product name, item name right here. So like this, PHP echo product name, or item name rather. And then we can do the description right below, and then the price. And then we check it. Okay, so this is the DESC, which is the variable I've shown. And then this can be the price. And quantity can be inside the hidden field. So I have the quantity right here. So let's grab these. And this is, I'm gonna make sure I copy the right thing here. This is the copy of that. And then inside here, we'll get the variables below that section. So as long as get cart row is this, on each turn of the loop, we're gonna have it. And we can add the quantity as well to the side of it, however we want to do it. But right now, when we run that, we get an error immediately, which I'm not too worried about. But what I am going to do right now is pause this and open up my error console and troubleshoot so that we can move forward. But before I shut this off, this is basically how it's going to roll. I don't need this at all. Product name, that's gone. This would be the promo code. My while loop will be done, hopefully. So I'm going to pause, debug, and then come back. I'll give you the solution when I get back. I'm back. I had the field for description spelled wrong. I had description instead of descript. Once again, things that should be on my desk when I code. But now we see this right here, which is great. So we now have this, though, too. So we've got to figure that out. We've got to figure out our total. So our total down at the bottom, we can do, let's do total here. So this would be PHP echo scalar total, like so. And let's do, this is price and description, so we've got that. Descript equals descript here. Now, let's just save that real quick to prove that it works. So I'm changing description to descript, and my total is not calculated yet, but I'm very happy with the concept of, see, Weezer's Toto cover, the description's there, which is beautiful. So if I go back in here and, let's say I go to camera and edit it under descript, I'll add top notch Nikon, something like that. When I save it and then go back into my checkout again, we've got camera. Now we could always see top notch icon, but we could always work to add thumbnails and things like that. So let's finish with the total, and the total would be equal to the price. I'm going to do a total value below. So total equals 0. And that'll turn it into a number. And then we'll do total plus equals scalar price times scalar quantity, just like we did in that homework assignment. And now we can kind of run this, and hopefully if everything gets updated and uploaded, we should be good. So total is here, all right? And it looks like our while loop, our while loop ended, that's why. So but that should still work, because if we're continually adding, well, price times quantities. Quantity is going to be 1 on this, so, all right, so let's do echo scalar QTY plus at price. Actually, here I am doing JavaScript. Forgive me. We'll do this, and we'll add a space, and then we'll do one of those. So our totals really should be coming out. Let's see. 1. Okay, so the quantity's at 0, and that's why it's broken. So there's a couple ways to handle this. If quantity is equal to, if scalar quantity is equal to 0, then scalar qty equals 1. This is one way to do it. But I would, and I think part of the problem is, there we go. So now we're in good shape. Now when we run our code and send it to PayPal, we should be good. This number right here is going to necessitate a number of items in cart, which I think I already have in that index page, which I can just borrow. In fact, when you see yourself writing code that's repetitious, it's time to create a script full of functions, to be honest with you. Let's see if we can find count anywhere. Let's see. I'm going to do this another method that I think is smart, and that's going to be adding a session. Because I believe that a session start, I believe that, let's var dump the sessions here. Oh, there it is right there. My apologies. We'll leave that there, but let's var dump the sessions anyway. We're going to do this down below. So what I'm going to do now is use the sessions to determine the count. So scalar underscore session. And the rule of thumb with screencasts, something I learned when I was at lynda.com, was to never keep these things more than 15 minutes. But let's see what we got here. So I'm making sure that that's uploaded. Here's checkout. There we go. So we have a quantity that's 0 and camera 0. I believe that this is because my cart items need to be truncated. So let's focus on that first, because I believe this is an issue with, I think it's, let's truncate cart items. I need to start with a fresh table, because what's happening is I'm pulling the data from that table and it's not accurate. So what I'm going to do is go to digital download cart. Let's see, I have quantity 0. We'll delete that. And we'll add 1 iPhone, 1 camera, and 1 Weezer cover. So we'll do one of those. We'll do one of these. Now, this brings up more things. Now, development's never done, as you know. But one thing we should do is validate against the 0. So let's do checkout.php. Or we could just not have a 0 at all. I mean, why even have it? Yeah, see, now we've got 1 at 400. So we're in good shape. We have that covered right there. So let's get this quantity at, the $sign should be there. And I'm going to do one more thing before I check out. And that is to go back to my index page, and where we have the drop downs, let's make sure that never happens again before we forget. And then we'll call it a good development session in here for this 1 week. You know, when I work on this down the pike, when you guys work in your projects and you have things, when you want me to correct them, just send me what you need corrected. Give me access, and I'm more than happy to see that the 0 here. Let's start it at 1. That'll solve that whole problem. I'm more than happy to screencast the entire event of me working to get your checkout done. Whatever it is, whatever you want. But I'll screencast the whole thing, and you can see the process I go through. The way I code, it's live. It's kind of, you know, I go with logic. It's easier for me to troubleshoot because I know everything that's going on. But also I have the experience that you might not, that you won't, because you're in this class. And that's why I can do things much more quickly than you. So I would say if you're banging your head against the wall with some widget or element you really want, hit me up. I'm happy to do it. Who knows, maybe it could be a widget that I want that I want in my open cart library or something like that. So there's some benefit of reaching out and taking care of that. So anyway, right now we had a good day. We had a sort by functionality here. A to Z. We had the filter. And we have the checkout, which is, I think, looking rather nice. So let's go to checkout again. I know I'm going to put a favicon there in just a second. There's no description on iPhone. That's why it's not visible. But next step, is to work with this. I'll do a little bit each week, the next few weeks until we end. I kind of like what's happening. I think you have a lot of flexibility in how you can fix it. I hope this gives you some confidence, and I hope you reach out to me with questions.